Thanks for having me. Everything is good, man. Yeah, I can't complain. Let me introduce myself. My name is Biggs. Biggs, co-founder of Roc-A-Fella Records. And we all know what that produced, right? All the likes of Kanye and Cameron and Clue and Rockaware and, 5 different businesses beyond that. But yeah, I'm the one that kind of I started the company along with Damon and Jay. Yeah, you're probably missing about 20 other things, but it's all good. They haven't been released to the public now. But I'm doing a lot. I like to, talk about things as they start to come into play. This is the first release to the public. So there was a friends and family that Nike did just with us. And it was a highly coveted sneaker. I think it went on the resale market that I found out recently for over $20,000. So when Nike was celebrating the 35th anniversary for Air Force Ones, they reached out for me to be the, the spokesperson and to be the face of the Roc-A-Fella Air Force One. I mean, I definitely was shocked. I mean, Nike was really confident saying that, everybody's been asking for it. So they had the data, right? So they know about what's going on and who's asking for what and what markets it would do well in. I started to feel and see, the impact of what it was as we started to do the campaign. And, they wanted this to be the biggest release out of all 5, right? So, me, Virgil, Don C, Travis Scott, and Acronym, I mean, those are very respected people, So they're known for doing sneakers at this time, probably except for Travis Scott. So, I agreed, but I didn't know that was going to have the success that it did. And, after Virgil's release and then hearing that he crashed the app, I was like, wow, that was amazing. And then when they said that we crashed the app twice, yeah, it was even more surprising. But it was a pleasant surprise, Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely a lot of but to see that the kids and everybody else gravitating towards what Roc-A-Fella meant and what it still means today. It's happy to see. I'm happy to see that these guys can have a piece of history in their house now. So everybody can't have a Roc-A-Fella chain, but now they got the Roc-A-Fella sneaker that they can kind of have and say, look, this is something that means more than what this sneaker is, right? These are 2 iconic brands, 2 logos that came together. Even though it was just a kind of a white slate with the logo on it, it means so much more than that, right? It's the brotherhood, the camaraderie, the lifestyle, the labor of love that we put in to building that logo to being such an iconic thing today. I have designers, right? But a lot of times I'll give them direction. I'll give them, I'll inspire them by bringing some things or kind of, I'm terrible at drawing, but, I'll put some things down to paper that they can kind of bring to life. And then I'll tweak a lot of the stuff, the designs that they have already. But the person that I really lean on for a lot of the creative is Emery Vegas Jones. So, that's my partner in everything that I do. So he helps out a lot, especially being in that space. With some of the stuff that he's been doing over the years, but definitely on the business side, I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking at manufacturers and worrying about the 5-year plan and being on calendar and things like that. But creatively, I'm definitely involved as well. I think lyrically, because where Jay was at that time. I think that album was so ahead of his time. A lot of the albums since then have stood the test of time, and we have certain ones that we like, certain ones that's become classics. But Reasonable Doubt just seemed to age so well, and to me, it's definitely going to be close to my heart. I mean, I like it sonically, what the producers brought, having guys like Premier, Clark Kent, Ski, Peter Panic, Nobody, what they did to the album, creatively, you know, what we did with the skits and everything and having so much fun, being in the studio, working with Premier, I mean, everything about it was legendary to me. So that's why, you know, I still consider it a classic. I think 444 will be a classic as well. I told Jay that's probably really edging as probably the second one right after Reasonable Doubt. Yeah. Definitely, it's always been important to us. Dame spoke about it a lot, and Jay has touched on it in music before. But I think at this point, he just felt this album was really important to be at the forefront. You know, to teach fiscal responsibility, to say that look, you could be vulnerable, you could go through things, and you could get past it. You know, talking about his marriage, talking about family issues. You know, Jay usually always talked about something personal as the last song on the album, right? What regrets or You Must Love Me and things like that. But now he gave you a body of work that kind of expressed that. And I think it was good for music. I think it was something definitely good for him because this was something that was on his heart, you know, to put out there. And I think it was received well as well. I think definitely, right? It's that independent spirit. It's about creating something from nothing and making it into something. That's what I love more than anything, you know, to take that empty space and then make it something that everybody's loving. And, you know, especially in the spirits arena, Dame has got back in the spirits, you know, with his whiskey and his Desco wine. Jay's back in, obviously, with the champagne and the Douce as well. And I'll be revisiting that really soon as well. I mean, you could still have a voice, but to us, it was always about owning something. And I think kids now these days, that's why I like to talk about it, because a lot of times they don't know where the genesis of that came from. So us having that independent spirit going into the game with 50-50 co-ventures or putting our own money up and not afraid to lose, to do things and step out on our own. People are trying to replicate that formula today, not knowing where it came from, right? So even with Kanye, you know, with the success that he's having, you would think that it's so far removed. Some people might not know, look, Biggs is the one that really signed Kanye, who believed in Kanye. And I would have these phone calls with him when Kanye would say, yo, Biggs, I can make $1 million, but how do you keep $1 million? So me and him would talk about that all the time while we were talking about his projects as well. Yeah, definitely. And it's so funny because at the 444 tour, Beyonce had a party for Jay. You know, I went the first day, she asked me to come back for the second time. And at that party, I mean, it was me, Fabulous, you know, to name a few, Jay the Kiss and Jay. And DJ just started playing his Roc-A-Fella set. And all of us, Tata, Emery, we were all on the floor singing all the lyrics, you know, top of our lung. Like, that was legendary for us because that brought us back in the days. And Jay's in the middle of the floor, you know, in this club with like maybe 50 people rapping the lyrics. Jay the Kiss comes and raps Reservoir Dogs. It was such a legendary moment. But times like that is where you really feel happy of the things that you created, and you can see all your friends around you just smiling and laughing and knowing that the impact that it had on the culture. Yeah, the thing that so first of all, once we got in, we always knew that we would sell a company, right? So when we signed that deal with Def Jam in '97, we knew that, you know, there would be a time where we would be moving out. So as we were signing artists, we was trying to teach them how to own and be their own entrepreneurs and how to build their own empires. So if you notice, everybody, Cameron came, we gave him a label, he had Dipsets, right? Then he started his own clothing. He got into the movie business. Beanie Siegel came, you know, he had State Property, you know, not only the group, the label, and then got into the clothing business as well. And we was trying to replicate that with Kanye as well, you know, with, giving him his own clothing label as well. So we were always teaching entrepreneurship and showing guys, you know, how to do it themselves because we wanted everybody to be their own boss. No, like I said, we knew we was going to sell the company. At that time, there were problems going into the company, right? They were eternal things, but you always go through ups and downs when you're building a business, and partners don't always align or agree on certain things. So there were times that we didn't agree, on things, and but I mean, it never stopped us from being brothers, right? We love each other to this day. Even, blood brothers that I have in my family, I would go for 3 or 4 months without speaking to because we get into arguments. Things happen. And but I think the best part of it is what happened after, right? So to get over that and then tell the public the story of, yeah, you could go through something, but at the same time, you can mend those fences, you could get back and show love to each other as well. So, we hear about the public rants that Kanye had with Jay, and then you hear what Jay says, like, look, man, we go through stuff, he said something, I said something back, I love him, so at the end of the day, it's about brotherhood. Yeah, there's really nothing to reconcile about it. I spoke to Dame a couple, days ago. I speak to Jay often as well. Actually, I spoke to Dame about 3 or 4 times over the last month. But everybody's just in a good place, man. So they're on the West Coast. I'm on the East Coast right now. So our schedules is so crazy right now. It's hard for us to get together. But we keep in contact, either text, email, or phone. Yes, I was. Yeah. Lesson learned. I think that was the best thing that happened to me. I needed some time to reflect. I needed some time to kind of sit down and see what direction I wanted my life to go in. And I don't look at it as a bad thing at all. I think it was one of the best things that happened to me. So I have a nonprofit called NCS Inside. It started from New Canaan Society. And what it is men going back into prisons to build relationships with men in prison. So, we do it with the Lord as our foundation, but it's not about going in with a Bible or anything. It's just about building genuine friendship. Because a lot of times I don't think people understand that it doesn't matter where you're at in life, what step of the ladder you're on, even at the top, you can still go through things, right? So at the peak of our success, we went through problems, but we went through deaths. My brother was killed. I lost my mother. Jay lost his father. Dame lost his father. Aaliyah passed. And we didn't really know how to deal with that, right? It was about, toughen up and then move on. But everybody needs a friend and somebody to walk through life with, no matter where you're at. So it doesn't mean that guys that come out of prison and just because they have a job or a wife or make some money, they're not going to go through things. So friendship and relationships are really important. So we try to have men build relationships with them and then also be there for them as they transition back to society. So that's what's important to us. And then talking about the justice system, yeah, I think, we all know that it's broken, but, a lot of people say, oh yeah, something is wrong with it, or it was built wrong. It was actually built correctly for the people who built it, because now it's its own monster that can just work on and feed the system on its own. It doesn't need anything. So it's a lot of things that need to be done relationship-wise, things with the law, even in our neighborhoods, in the community, and parenting. I mean, there's so many things that need to be done that is going to take a lot of effort to kind of change the direction of what's going on right now, because you're trying to make a U-turn with the Titanic. Probably 2000, maybe a couple years after we sold Roc-A-Fella. I mean, there was some excitement. Again, I was actually going to do a deal with TuneCore when they first launched, and I was one of the first rap albums they put on there with Reasonable Doubt. And I was going to have, it was called Sound Fair, and I was going to give all artists label deals. And it's funny because my friend found Drake off of MySpace. And he was like, look, I'm talking to this guy Drake out of Canada. And once I heard some of his freestyles, I was like, you know what? That guy is really good. I want him to be the first model and try to give him a label on TuneCore. It ended up not working out. And I remember playing Drake for Dame, and he was like, yeah, he's all right, but he kind of sounds like Jay or Kanye. And I was like, you know, and then after, you know, he got his stardom and his stuff started to really pop, and then Dame was like, that's the same guy? And I was like, yeah, I brought that guy to you, you know, we brought 2 years ago. But that was probably the last time that I wanted to still be in the music business. At this point, there hasn't been an artist that I've come across personally that, you know, gave me that passion or drive to want to do something again. And I'm not looking for it. The music business is tough. It's in a different space right now. And I'm happy to help Jay with Roc Nation with whatever he's doing, you know. So as people come to me, I always kind of say, you know, go over there because he's doing a great thing. One, because replicating what we did, but in a different way, because it means even more now, you know, at the age and the stature that he's at, all of us, to show them that they need to build businesses on that platform that they're using for music, right? And then teaching them the fiscal responsibility that goes with it as well. I mean, yeah, as a fan, you know, I'm not sure that I pay attention to every single thing. You know, once songs come up that I like, you know, or my friend Tone Hooker. So Tone Hooker is actually the guy who came up with the name Roc-A-Fella. He's the one that had brought that show, you know, those Drake songs to me. So a lot of times me and him will go back and forth about, you know, different music, or, you know, he'll send me artists and things like that to listen to. But just as a fan, yeah, you know, I'll just listen to music, yeah.
So there's never a case where you'd be like, with this artist, I would do this or do that, or...
Yeah, I would do one thing, pick up the call and say, hey, Jay, I got some people, you take it from here. Yeah, Friday on Elm Street. So the Jadakiss and Fab album, I think that's a great album. I listened to it for maybe 2.5 weeks every day, you know, while I worked out. So that's been something that's been giving me motivation right now. It was something I think New York needed, I think hip hop needed, just to kind of bring it back, you know, to that core New York street grutty, you know, essence. And that's something to me that I really love. And I think they both pushed each other lyrically, that made it a great project. Well, Julia, the famous Julia Lang, she you know, kind of put the itinerary together to me, for me. So I know it's, you know, Off-White, Louis Vuitton, OAMC. I'm looking forward to seeing my brother Tracy Mills with, you know, Reprogram. I mean, you know, everything that's on the list I'm looking forward to. But even the thing for me that's most fun is the gift of discovery. So, you know, yeah, we want to go to some of the things, the brands that we know, but I want to see what's going on with some new stuff. So as I'm hearing people introducing me to different brands, and I can see those are the things that I like too, because I get inspiration too, to seeing young people do their thing. All right.
That's all.
Thank you.